Have you ever wondered how the F1 cars and all the stuff that they need for the races gets to the track? The 2025 F1 season has officially begun, and I find the logistics of F1 so interesting, so today we're going to talk about it. What you're looking at right now is a map of this year's F1 races, just to give you an idea of where they all are. They are all over the world, but after Miami, we get into a string of European races. There is one in Canada, but then there is a string of European races, and after the European races, we get into more of what's known as flyaway races. The year is basically a big European summer section sandwiched by two flyaway sections. And they're called flyaway races because most of the F1 teams are based in Europe. So there's basically three sections of shipments. For the flyaway races, they receive shipments by boat and by air. For the European races, they also receive shipments by air, but also by truck. They have to bring quite literally everything to these races, from the car itself to every little tool needed to make any kind of repairs. They also have to bring everything they need for their paddock and team areas. For the flyaway races, they basically take everything that they can easily replicate and make like 5 sets of them. And then they stick those things on a big shipping crate on a boat and send them to the flyaway races. Because sending things by ship takes so long, they actually are sending things pretty much all year round, even in the off season. Now, anything really expensive or not easily replicatable, or the car itself, they send that by plane. F1 Explains has a really good podcast that they did back in 2023 about logistics. They interviewed a guy from DHL. DHL is their primary logistics partner. He talked about how they primarily use 777s, but I have seen them use 747s as well. Now in Europe, they have these fancy motorhomes that serve as the crew and team rest areas. So they actually drive these to each European race. You won't see these at the flyaway races, but they are at all European races. The flyaway races usually have a building for this purpose, or they build something temporary for the weekend. So yeah, that is a little bit about F1 logistics. Obviously, there is way more to it. That podcast I mentioned, they talked to several people who were part of both the travel team and then the track team. Just so crazy how many people there are involved with the setup and tear down weekend after weekend.